Hey guys, I think I went live on my personal one by accident. I'm gonna add in Jordan. Oh, hilarious. Where is he?
Hey, we're in the hat again. Cool. Awesome. Great.
I went live on my personal one by accident, and then
That kind of day, huh?
I saw the notification at the top, and it was like Tom Green went live, and I went, oh shit, shit,
It's all
cancel,
good.
cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yeah.
How
No,
are you?
it happens. It happens to the best of us. I'm good, man. Having a good morning. Drinking my lemon water. Very excited to chat to Max, pick
Yeah,
his brain. How about you?
yeah, man. I'm good. I'm not drinking lemon water. I'm on my second coffee.
Hmm. The healthy
It's one
choice.
one of those mornings. Um, Damn, we've already got 119 viewers. Real quick,
Hello.
before we add Max. We are going to take questions at the end in the last sort of 10 minutes or so. So any acting related questions, just shoot them to us and we'll ask Max when we get him on. Let's see if he's on here. He did message me and say that he has never done live before, I think he said. He wanted to know how it's going to work. Let's
Pretty sure. He knows live. He does his own lives.
Does he?
Yeah.
We'll ask him.
Okay.
All right, we invited him.
What's up, Kane? Good to see you, bro.
Oh,
Josh.
someone from Argentina. G'day. We've got a
Got some Dance Academy fans in the house.
nice. I hope you guys are enjoying these interviews. These are a lot of fun for us. We like doing them. Love you guys.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
Victoria.
Hello, England, France.
France.
You.
Where is
Solomon Island. Los Juntos. Aloha from Hawaii. Yeah, baby. Woo. England. Cyprus.
going?
Oh, my goodness. Ecuador.
Cyprus, Ecuador, Norway. Hey
Brazil.
guys, I'm gonna turn off my notifications. It says here Max is unable to join.
Cool, cool. Peru.
Brazil.
Mexico. Philippines.
Hey guys.
So it's going to be
I
a
don't know about
live
you guys.
bus.
We're in lockdown at
Costa
the
Rica.
moment, so we're going a little stir crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think while we're waiting for Max, as well, Jordan and I were talking about possibly doing some lives just for ourselves. At some point, it looks like our lockdown's going to be extended. So, oh no, here he is. Max just said should be joining soon, gents. Hello,
Hello from
Nicole from the
USA.
US. Nebraska,
Wow.
guys,
The whole world is
hello.
joining in.
This is great. Well,
Yeah,
welcome.
this is awesome. Yeah. Personal little lives we're going to do ourselves, and we're going to do one just me and Tommy, and we've got heaps of guests coming through. I've been talking to, oh, should I even say because we're not confirmed, but
Maybe why don't you say shows that they've been on?
uh mortified, possibly the bold type. Um, hmm. Yeah, we've yet to reach. We've got so many people we want to talk
Yeah,
to.
we have. Everyone's just so busy,
Yes,
which is
so
good.
that's yes, it's a good problem. Um, yeah, Foster's. Yes, what's up?
Oh, someone just commented on our facial hair. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Italy, well done, winning the winning the game.
yeah, that's huge.
Why
What
don't
was
we
it like
take
50?
one? Why don't we take one question for Jordan while we're waiting? All right,
Go
first
on,
question to pop up.
hit me with your best shot.
What do we got here?
Switzerland, what's up? Slovakia.
Jordan, someone just said, what was it like working on the Fosters?
Foster's was an amazing, amazing experience. It's my first job in the US. So for it to be my first job in the US and to step on the Warner Brothers lot, working with that cast and crew was just so good, and I was just so grateful that they kept me on for so long. About 4 seasons with them. So that was
Is that
just
how long you're on there for?
it was 5. Yeah, it ran for 5 seasons, and I was luckily part of 4 of them, and yeah, I just learnt so much, just in terms of acting, in terms of uh, you know, political things, or um, social things, and yeah, I'm just so grateful that I got to be a part of that show. I mean, you guys all know how powerful that show is, and yes, Maya Mitchell, what a legend. And yeah, I mean, I hope I can work with those people again because it was just such a great experience. And
Mm.
yeah, really sort of just like kind of launched my American career. So that was nice.
Sorry to cut off Geordie. We do have
Mhm.
Max here. I think
Yes,
he's joining us now.
yes.
Oh,
Whoa,
Oh,
there we
mate.
are. There we are.
are you
How
in the
are
back
you?
of a car?
No, my girlfriend took my car, so I didn't have a charger for my phone. This thing was gonna.
Uh,
This is off book actors
Idiot.
101 right here.
Mm. Always carry a charger with you when you're wanting to be an actor. That's it.
yes, rule number one.
How are you, man?
I'm all right. I'm a little sunburned. It's a nice Sunday afternoon here in LA.
Yeah, that's good because it's winter
Yeah,
here.
I know. Are you guys in lockdown right now?
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh,
We're in lockdown at the moment. We've just done 2 weeks. They put up a third, but the cases aren't going down. So there's talk of us doing much. I think maybe like 6 weeks, possibly.
it's I imagine it's a different deal there in terms of lockdown. You
Yeah.
guys, all right, good. It's working.
Yep. It is. But hey, mate, we're grateful that you could join us. We know you're a busy man.
Well,
We just wanted to pick your brain a bit, and see if we can learn something. We've got a lot of aspiring actors here who are on our account, and we thought, why not call up Max, harass him, see if we can learn something.
perfect. Harass away.
All right. Well, we always like to start from the top. So, your first job. What was your first job?
Oh man, so my first job was actually I have a twin brother, Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
and Charlie was at USC, um, University of Southern California, for
Yep.
theater. I was there as well. We weren't that close. We went to different boarding schools, and we both ended up at the same university without really knowing the other one was going to go. And I got a call from my brother. I was working in the summer in Washington, D.C. at the National Institutes of Health. And my brother called me and said, "Hey, so I got this opportunity for Desperate Housewives." Well, I'm just gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I was like, "Okay, what do you want me to read for it?" And he was like, "Yeah, would you put yourself on tape?" So, okay. I think I was 19, and I just asked my dad. I was like, "Dad, you wanna play my mom in this one?" And I think I had a glass of wine because I was nervous, and made a tape on my iMac back in the day, like in the photo booth. Sent
Yeah.
it off and thought, this is going nowhere. Shot in the dark, and I got a call the next afternoon at work, and they said, "We'd like you to fly to LA tonight. You have a test at NBC Universal at 8 in the morning with Mark Cherry and the rest of the executives." I didn't know what a network test was. I packed a backpack with a toothbrush and maybe 2 changes of clothes. I thought I'd be in LA for 3 days and then come back. And oh man, Oh God, I was terrified. I think after the test, I had about a week of adrenaline withdrawal. Like I was just so souped up. And then
Oh,
we got the gig, and I'd never been on set before. I didn't really know what acting even was about. Like I had done a couple plays when I was a kid. Hold on, I'm turning these notifications off. And I'd done a couple plays as a kid, but to be on that show right off the bat.
Mm.
My mom was Felicity Huffman. Doug Savant was my dad. At the time, I think it was the fourth or fifth season, and it was. I didn't grow up watching TV, and I knew obviously what the show was, but I was like, yeah, whatever. It wasn't a big deal, and it's just when I showed up on set, it immediately hit me on the face, just how I'd gone from here to at the highest level or one of the higher levels, deep end of the pool, and it was like, time to learn how to swim, buddy. Here we go.
So was acting something that you always wanted to do, or was it kind of just, it was a very random opportunity and you just took it?
Man, that's a good question. I think it's something I deeply always wanted to do. I didn't grow up in a Hollywood family. Like I said, we had a rule at the house I grew up in where we had 3 hours of TV a week, and it was timed, and you could only watch it on the weekends.
Mm.
So, I was told that entertainment rotted your brain, which meant I wanted to watch it more than anything, and I used to sneak as much TV or whatever as I could, and I remember I watched. We had a neighbor, or maybe it was my sister, had just a stack of VHS tapes, and she was a huge Tom Cruise fan. So even at like Top Gun, Days of Thunder, I went Cocktail, whole catalog. I think all the great '90s blockbusters was kind of my introduction to film and television. But I always found myself reading a lot. So I was reading a lot. I loved storytelling. Dinner time at our house was funny stories. My brother and I put on talent shows. I went to a very traditional boarding school on the East Coast up in New England. And so again, I was on this track for more like business school or who knows what I was going to do. But secretly, like I found myself in my free time. It was about writing. It was about, I would write all the skits that we had to put on at school. Whenever we had a competition where every dormitory had to come up with plays. So the idea of it being a professional pursuit never really occurred to me, but the deep desire somewhere in here, I think, was always there from the beginning. It was,
yeah. See, that's really interesting. So it sounds very similar. I mean, we've had a few guests on at the moment who have been like, majority of them haven't come from training. They've just sort of had this opportunity presented to them and they've just taken it and ran with it. And they've just discovered that, holy shit, you can do this for a living. And I feel like that just sort of fed the fire, so to speak. But we're really big on sort of, things that you pick up on set or as you go that you were completely oblivious to when you first started. Is there anything you can remember that you went, oh shit, this is something I'm going to need to remember for the next couple of years?
Dude, okay, so the first one, this is not so helpful. Don't ever touch another actor's hair. I remember like day two, like I think Doug Savant was there and had his hair all perfectly done, and my brother was like, "Oh, Dougie, your hair looks good." And Doug was like, "Don't fucking touch my hair." And I was like, "Oh, okay, good to know." Just learning, there's such a difference between class and being on set.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, or being on stage, and one of the things was just picking up on, there are 1,000 personalities in Hollywood at least, but really just kind of seeing how actors engage with others on set to create a storytelling environment, and then also knowing what to do with your free time when you're on set, if you get the chance to be on set. there's so much time where you're sitting in a chair while they're setting up lighting. There's so much time where you're in your trailer. So just important things like creating a sense of community while at the same time you gotta show up prepared.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be like, oh, I'll get some leeway because I'm green. And it's, no, they don't care. They don't care if you're green. And the truth is you're gonna, as much as you may be working on your craft or familiar with what's going on, you're gonna learn when you're on set. You have to be open-minded. You have to listen. You have to learn how to translate. For me, through story, because everyone you work with has a different style. Everyone has a different way of communicating, but the one thing that we always have in common is the story and the script. So the more I can kind of spend time with that and make that real for myself, I always have that as a map where I can say, I think I hear what you're saying, you know, in the story, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, it's different on every job and there's no rule. And it's about learning how to work with others and how to not take stuff personally. I think people have this idea that being on a set is like hunky-dory and fun all the time. And it's work, man. Everyone's there to work. And so there's so many things. I was taught that I was taught that I go to work, I go to set to play, and I'm getting paid for all the stuff I do at home to be ready to play. That's the game for me. I show up with a good attitude, but I'm getting paid for all the stuff that I was willing to do at home when I was off. And that was really important because that was a big attitude adjustment. And
I like that.
Yeah. And then furthermore, like, I think film is different than theater. You know, theater, you have a chance to rehearse, you get to find it together, versus film and television, for the most part, there are exceptions when you're working on film, but rehearsal is pretty quick. It's usually to make sure that the director's getting what they want in terms of framing and performance. But you're not, I don't run lines with people before. I don't think about it that way because I don't know what's going to come at me. So it's really learning how to deal with stuff in the moment. And I might get used to it, but I think the first take on set is always the most interesting because you just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. And my actor brain wants to be like, oh, I should be in control. I should know what's going on. But the truth is, it's life on camera. Sometimes it's magnified, but it can be fun to embrace not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah. And to me, you know, particularly in film, that's the stuff that pops. Where it's like, oh, this is happening. They got it on film. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What?
Was there a moment for you that sort of clicked in your brain that's the good stuff?
Dude, that's taken years. Because again, like, you know, I came in wanting to really please people. I was so scared that I was going to get fired. I was so scared about what other people would think. Yeah. And what that did is it took me out of myself and got me directing myself and put me in a kind of almost like it limits my ability to take a risk. And over time, through going to class consistently, through putting other actors on tape, you know, it's not just what I do by myself. It's learning from others. It's being of service to other actors. I've learned that, like, there's a magic that happens that I can't account for. And the biggest word for me would be allowance. I have to be able to allow whatever's going to happen to me, whatever's going to happen in someone else. And I think that took me a long time just because there was so much fear there. There's so much fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still find like you get I mean, how many years have you been doing this now?
I mean, I've taken breaks, but 13 years.
Do you find that you still get like you still get, you know, nervous at times and anxious before auditions? And
it depends. I mean, yeah. I think it can be translated. It's so much of it for me is about framing it. Like I said, I can always bring it back to story.
Yeah.
You know, it's my brain is going to tell a story no matter what. I do have some control if I slow down over what story I tell my brain. So let's say in a conversation, I could tell myself, "Hey, I'm at Warner Brothers and we're doing this test deal right now for so and so," or I can be like, "Okay, I'm getting ready to have this conversation within the story with this person." I can use what I have. Whereas in the past, it would be like, how do I shut down this part of me to make it go away because it's so uncomfortable, and then I'll be ready. And it's like it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I like that. It's good as well, man. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from this. I think the last time you and I spoke wasn't about anything acting related, but I'm learning a lot. We just want to quickly update people who are watching. We did announce at the beginning we were going to take maybe some questions in the last 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, just shoot them forward, and we'll let you know when we're going to start talking to Max from the audience. So I did see somewhere, mate, that you recently, I don't know how secret we have to be about this, you came off a pretty big film recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a wild shoot. I can't really talk about it.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to acknowledge
other
it.
than to say, and who knows what will come out, right? Like, that's the other thing. You never know. Movies are made in the editing bay. So who knows if I'll even be in it. But I can tell you that I shot Batman over the pandemic. And it was in London. And it was quite the experience. Everything in the UK was closed down. And somehow we were able to get through a shoot with like everyone walked out okay, and it was. I think someone did get sick actually, passed away. Yeah. But it was different. It was very different. We had masks on. Some of the things that I really took for granted, like Ed mentioned earlier, the sense of community, being around other actors and stuff. Like the priority there was safety. So for the most part, it was like, stay safe, stay at home, and when you're ready for work, we'll test you, we'll call you, you'll show up, you'll do the job, and then you'll go home. So it's different. But that movie, all I can say is the movie's gonna be sick. That's it.
Yeah, well, mate, I didn't know until I kind of had to go. I went on your IMDb, just had a bit of a scroll and revisit some of the stuff you'd worked on. I mean, Desperate Housewives, I knew. Teen Wolf, obviously, everyone here is mentioning Teen Wolf, huge, but that is, excuse my language, that's fucking big. It's good.
Yeah.
Great, man. Well done.
Thanks, man.
And so, like, J-Rod and I always talk about, like, staying fresh and as an actor when you're not working and things that you can do and all that kind of stuff. For me, I like watching movies. Others like writing, others like doing tapes with others. Do you have anything that you sort of, that you like to do just to stay fresh, or do you prefer just to like walk away from it and just not really think about it so it doesn't sort of consume you?
I mean, dude, I think I've wanted to quit acting so many times. I've wanted to just walk away so many times because I think what I really wanted was to stop pretending as much. Like I feel like I was like it just didn't feel honest or truthful at all. This feels terrible. I didn't feel like I was really expressing myself in any meaningful way to me. So part of that has been outside of acting, finding things that are meaningful. So having some creative hobbies outside of it where I get to express myself and find out what I like. Spirituality and like mental health has been a big part of it. Learning more about myself. I believe, theater came out of religion. If you go just in traditional cultures or in Greece, and I think it is connected to spirituality. I think it's why we all love going to films, because we get to see a human story up there, and ideally an actor has accepted the human story so deeply that it wakes it up in us. I mean, to me, that's what it's about. So that's been important. I don't mean that in terms of religion necessarily. I just mean exploring maybe mysteries. Writing has been really important. It's helped me understand the importance of words and the importance of taking these ideas, these lives, and trying to refine it down into words. And as actors, we kind of do the opposite. We get the words and then we have to build a life. So that's been helpful. Reading fiction, super important. And I don't know, man. I just think your life and the meaning you find in your life, and I'll say this for me, it has to be bigger than just being a good actor.
Yeah.
Because it's not about acting at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a funny, it's such a strange profession, you know. Like I think once you start to sort of realize as you get older, if you've been doing it for a few years, and you start to realize like it's not like running a race. It's not like if you're the fastest sprinter, you're number one. It's all opportunity meets preparation and all that other stuff in between. And I think that kind of helps you kind of, you know, sort of ease up a little bit and maybe start to, as you said, sort of explore outside of it and what else you can be doing and other things to sort of, you know, I saw a great interview with Sam Neill, and he talks about as actors, if we're not acting, we feel like we're no one. So he goes, it's very important to separate yourself from, or calling yourself an actor. You just say that I'm someone who acts, and that way it doesn't sort of consume you, or you don't sort of feel that, as he said, the darkness coming in when you're not acting.
Yeah, 100%. And then also, I mean, I'll say allow the darkness to come in and see how dark it gets, dude. Because like, I mean, that for me was important too. Like to just kind of what you're saying is to see that I was putting some stuff on this profession that had nothing to do with this profession, from my own personal stuff or stuff from the past, or this idea that if someone only believed I was a good actor, I would finally be happy. And with that mentality, that's not what it's about. It's a service profession. I'd like to view it that way. It's not about what I can get. It's about what I can give, and the sense of community I can feel, and what I can learn about myself. And if I'm just hyper focused on being a good actor in terms of my mentality, right? Like I still want to show up and learn more about the craft. I want to practice. I'm still in class. I work every day on it. I do an hour minimum where I'll absorb a story and I'll put it down, and I'll sit with it and imagine the circumstances, just so I'm constantly just trying to open up my heart and my ability to accept parts of myself, characters.
Yeah, man. That's great. That's really good. I mean, you're really helping sort of, you know, helping viewers out there who are probably watching, who are sort of maybe going through a bit of a rough patch with their acting, or not sure where to go, what to do. We had a class with someone the other day, an online class, because we do online sessions with people. And we had a young woman from Australia who was also sort of communicated she felt a little bit stuck. I wasn't sure what to do, and we were trying to say to her, like, it's not just about trying to strive for the agent, you know, or the manager or all that. It's just about like getting better at what you're doing, and there's so many ways to do it. Like everyone has their own method. Everyone deals it differently.
Everyone's got their look. I'll share. I feel weird sharing this. It's pretty candid. I feel like every opportunity, every audition, every story you get, it's no accident, right? Like even if I first look at it, I'm like, Jesus, this or whatever. Like even in class, I found that the stories that have come my way are generally pointing to parts of myself that I don't want to look at. Like that's not me. That's a character. That's da da da. And when I start to like really sit with the story and willing to go deep, it awakens parts of myself that I haven't wanted to look at. The art kind of informs my life. So in a sense, it flips the script for me where it's a profession for me. It's the stories are for me to like grow and learn and be more accepting and have a bigger heart. Whereas when I got started, it was like, what do you need me to do for you? So I hope that's helpful to anyone who's stuck, because I found that I was stuck somewhere, and that stories were a gift to help me get unstuck with myself.
I mean, Yeah, I think with you and I talking about something like that recently. Like, I mean, as we said, like this whole thing started from us talking about experience we had and some rough patches we went through, and we were like, how can we sort of help? And this is all the good stuff. This, as you said at the start, this I feel like is some of the stuff that we feel is neglected in, your stereotypical acting class. You learn about scene and character and story and obstacles, but it's like all of this other stuff that happens in the outer regions.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that we feel is missing and can really help people.
Yeah, man. And God, dude, I'm just gonna throw advice out. I don't talk
Go.
about acting that often. I don't
Yeah.
think it's healthy to talk about it that often. This is different, obviously. It's a class, but like
Mm,
outside of class, I don't talk about it.
mm,
It's it gets to be my little secret. I don't talk about the work, and I never personalize. I never use my personal life. That's been tough for me, but I don't. For me, I've never thought of it as outside of myself. I've never thought, oh, this character who I'm trying to become like. Um, I approach it as I have all the goods are here. I have I have I could I could be anyone. If I grew up in India instead of the United States, I would have a different belief system. I would have a different way of life. Like I am a blank slate. So I try and blank slate myself and kind of awaken what I believe is already there, a possibility that's already there, as opposed to trying to make it outside myself. Because that's in the past when I had it outside of myself, that's when it wasn't fun.
mm.
It wasn't for me. And as a result, it wasn't honest.
Yeah. Sounds like you've gone through quite a bit of and this is not blowing smoke up your ass at all, mate, but it does sound like, you have, it's interesting to see when these thoughts you've had, in retrospect, like when you started, what your goal was, and then as you got older and you've probably been through some shit, you've kind of gone, okay, it's different. I have different goals now.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's refreshing.
Yeah. I think it's good that goals can change, and it doesn't mean you have to give up. And I
Yeah.
wanted to, but I think the beautiful thing about this is if you stick with it, your relationship to it deepens. That's been my experience.
Yeah.
Not for everyone. I don't freaking know, but for me, like I like to keep an open mind about this stuff. I'd love to ask you guys, what's
Mm.
in terms of a pattern you see with younger actors, what's one maybe question you would ask them? I don't know where I'm going with this question, but like, what do you think the most important question to ask yourself is when you first get a story, or the attitude that you adopt? Because that to me is there's a mentality piece that comes in before I approach a story, and it changes the way I read something or absorb it.
Mm. What's a question you'd ask the person when they get given a story? Um, I think, yeah, I think my question would be, how can you relate to this potentially? Because we did a video recently about, when you get auditions for stuff that you potentially don't really want to do, and you might be like, but if, as we said, our biggest thing is you never know who's watching. So you could go in for a tape for something that you're definitely not right for, but if casting sees you show up and put in the work, um, you never know what's around the corner. They could go, yeah, Max is terrible for this role, so and so, but we do have this other thing coming up that he'd be perfect for. So I think if you're going to go in, if that's going to be the goal, then you have to do the prep work. So the first question should be, how can I relate to this? How can I find a way to sort of work hard on this? I think if you can find a relation to the material, then you're going to go, oh, I'm actually going to get more enjoyment out of it. I think that makes sense. What about you,
Yeah.
Jordy?
I really like what Max said, was like how can I learn something about myself from this character or from this
Yeah.
story, and then how can I translate that onto film, and how can I guess how does my character or my part in this push the story forward? So whatever the actual, I guess story or the meaning behind the film or the TV show, how do I push it forward to its maximum potential? What is my part in this? I think that's kind of what I ask myself when I'm like playing in these roles. But also, I really like what Max said, which is what can I learn from this, and how do I confront this part of myself that might not necessarily be me, but I feel like we can always learn something from everybody, and even the characters we play. So
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I guess the number one question you get from younger actors, and we get on off book is someone wants to be an actor,
Yeah.
and they don't know where to start. And it's like, how do I start? And I think the biggest thing that we try and say is, well, everyone's journey is different. You hear of people who just get picked up on the side of the road, or well, rephrase that, they get spotted or they get scouted by someone. We had a friend who was scouted at a station in Sydney here, and she's blown up. And others work hard for years and years and years doing cameos and guest starring, and then they get the lead role and stuff. But what do you think is like the one most important thing you would offer for someone who comes to you and goes, I want to be an actor, what should I do? Or what is something that they can do?
Fucking don't quit. I mean, just are you in it? It doesn't mean you don't do other things to support yourself. It doesn't mean, but I think the other thing is like discomfort is good.
Yeah.
Comfort is really good. Obviously, sometimes it's painful. But I guess the most important thing, if you want to get actually started professionally speaking, dude, you just gotta start. You gotta get into a class.
Yep.
You gotta read. You gotta read. I think there's this amazing website called Screenwise. I'm not sure, but they have I'll find it. They have the dialogue in the script next to the performance in like famous features, so you can kind of see. Yeah. You can kind of see in real time like the possibilities of what you can do.
Yeah, I think I follow that. I think it's called Screenplayed or something.
Yeah, some Screenplayed. That's right. Yeah. So you get to see how someone can take these words on a page and have a super deep relationship to everything, and you're like, whoa! Just so the possibilities. That's cool. Reading fiction, I know, just scientifically is the most important thing you can do, because as you read fiction, you will naturally start empathizing, and you want to build that empathy muscle big time. It's a muscle, so you got to go to the gym.
Empathy again, Jordan. Our last guest said that. Our last guest said he's an Australian actor. He's quite large. He's quite big over here, and he was saying the same thing. We asked him that question, and he said empathy.
Yeah.
He thought it was very, very important. Shit, man, this has been great. It's really good. We're gonna, what we might do is we might actually take some questions now. See if there's some people here. We've answered this question. Alan Lopez, 1881. What would you recommend to starting actors looking for auditions? I think we kind of answered that.
There was a question way earlier. I'm not sure if they're still here or not, but it's when you said, Max, to be a service to fellow actors. Do you remember that? They just said, what do you mean about that? And if you could expand on that.
Being a servant. Okay. Let me frame it in a way where it doesn't sound like acting, because that's helpful. That's helpful. When you're talking to someone and they share something deeply personal or vulnerable or intimate and with honesty, and it just feels, you can feel the room open up a little bit because something truthful has been shared and that like a risk has been taken, and as it just opens up your heart, like person to person. I'm not talking about on screen. I think that's all it is. And if for me, the story is a tool to open up my heart to this specific world. And as an actor, sure, I'm on screen. I personally hate being on camera. But if I'm on screen, the way that the human brain works is if I'm vulnerable and I'm honest and I go deep, anyone who sees it has that experience too. That's what I mean by being a service. So flipping the script from let me get all the accolades and impress everyone to, can I have a depth of relationship to this content? And when I go to set, can I take those risks? It's not just about me. I'm speaking a truth for everyone else to get to experience.
Yeah,
And
right.
also, dude, just help out other actors. Put people on tape. I put people on tape all the time. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn so much from just reading with other people, and you know, finding that magic that you were talking about earlier. It's like that's really been a process for me, just from reading with other people and finding that like really beautiful live take that, you know, is never going to happen again. It happens from just like uh, watching other people do their thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also knowing how the other people work. Like, you know, Jordan and I, before lockdown, used to tape all the time, and then you go work with someone else, and you go, oh, this person works differently. They like to get it in 3 takes, and there's other person who likes to do it in 25 takes. And you're like really starting to learn. I think it was a cool. I think Jordan, you and I were talking about that story about. I think it was Paul Newman, and there's another famous actor, and one of them didn't like to rehearse. And then the other one liked to rehearse like 15 times, and the director had to then split them up and do rehearsals with the guy who liked to rehearse. He would rehearse with that person 15 times so that they were ready, and then come on set and then get the first take with Paul Newman. I think it was Paul Newman, correct me if I'm wrong. So you had to like work out how to, it's a puzzle. I think that was great.
No, I mean, that's what I mean. Everyone's going to work differently, and no one's right. It's not right or wrong, right? Like, it's not my job to tell someone how to work. It's learning how to work with someone. Yeah. And the story is the common thread for me. That's always there. Shit, that brought to mind something, man. Oh, I was gonna say another thing I had a teacher have me do once, which was watch movies either in another language without subtitles or have the volume turned off. And what that taught me is that acting, even though we learn our worlds through words on a page, it's a non-verbal art form. There's a dance. Tom, you're a dancer. I mean, there's a dance element to this where the story needs to go into your body so it can be expressed.
Yeah.
So that was important too, because there's acting from the neck up and then there's allowing it. So really slowing down too when you're taking this stuff in, not rushing to get it all straight and get the lines perfect and then have a relationship. It's like slow down and have a real relationship with your whole self with this stuff. That was a big, that's only recently where I've been like, whoa.
All right, man. This has been very, very insightful. We had someone else hit us up, but they wanted to know what was your favorite role? If you could pick one. Do you have any favorites?
No, I'm constantly dissatisfied. I've had moments where I'm like, okay, all right. I had a lot of fun when I was shooting Teen Wolf. That was a freaking blast. I've definitely had moments where I've had a lot of fun, and other moments where I feel like I've really said something from the heart. But no, dude. I always want more. That's why I'm still here. It's like, come on.
So good.
Yeah, I'm not done. Like, I know everything I've done. I want to keep growing, so that means I gotta get new shoes to fill. But okay, I'll answer the question. Favorite role? Yeah, no.
Can't do it.
We can't do it to him. But man, this has been great. This has been so good. Unless we got one last question if someone's going to hit us up here. I can see a lot of people talking about the Euro Cup. Yeah, we're not going to ask about that. Here we go. Phoenix Fire said, do you have a favorite person you've worked with? Anyone in particular?
That's so
You can't say me. You can't say me, okay? It can't be me. It can be someone else, all right?
This guy. I think Halo was maybe my first job I ever got by myself. That was terrifying.
What do you mean?
Because I started working with my twin brother. That's how I got in.
Oh, right. Yep.
And then I thought, well, I'll never work alone. And then I got some jobs by myself, and I was like, oh, shit. I will say, just because it was recent, yeah. I should say my brother, but he's my brother, so we don't do that. We don't do that except when we're like really, we're brothers. I got a chance to work with Colin Farrell recently, and he is the most lovely human being on the planet. He's a bundle of laughs, and this is the thing. Like, you can learn from someone on set. He doesn't treat people differently. He treats everyone the same. There's no rush. There's no hierarchy. It's just like he's there, and it's fun, and it reminds me of a kid on a playground. And so I work with guys like that, and I go, I want to be that guy on set.
Yeah.
Just cracking jokes, staying up late, like he brings fun for everybody. So that was dope. It was cool.
Dude, Colin Farrell.
Yeah, it's
unreal.
It's always great to meet and work with people that like really inspire you to be like that sort of actor on set, to keep morale up and to keep the good energy on set. It's awesome to work with those people.
Oh, it's the best.
Colin Farrell, yeah,
man. This is mate. We can't thank you enough. This has just been a fountain of knowledge.
Yeah.
We're gonna save this interview, guys, so you guys can watch it at a later date. Mate, we might let you go.
Sweet. I missed that last part because my Instagram just said I hit my time limit for the day.
You're the second guest who's had that happen to them during the live interview.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I was just saying that we might let you go. I can't tell if you're. Are you in the back of it? It looks like you're in the back. Oh, you're in your car. You're in a parking lot.
I'm in a tiny death trap. This is my girlfriend's old school convertible, and it is a death box, and I have to drive it home because she was too afraid to drive it home. That's what's right now.
Mate, thanks again for joining us from LA. This has been great. We can't thank you enough, and we just want to wish you luck on your next jobs.
You guys,
we're going to be keeping an eye out for Batman.
We'll see. Fingers crossed, brother.
Mate, enjoy your day.
You too, guys. Stay safe over there. Thanks for having me, and it's good to see you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Likewise. All right, bro. Catch up.
Thanks, Max. Cheers.
Thanks.
Well, that was amazing. Love that.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
He's very cool.
Very positive.
Very wise.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. All right. Well, make sure you save this one, hey?
Yeah, that's funny. You're really funny. You should be a comedian.
Well, I'm just saying.
Mate. Yeah. No. I hear you saying.
Just saying, because you.
Yeah.
You didn't.
No, we get it. Yeah, we get it. Yeah. Hey, shut up for a second.